Okay, so good day, everyone. So I'll be discussing chapter 3 today, um, diving in the screenwriter's mind. So we already did discuss chapter 2, and I hope everyone is already done with our laboratory activity and our short quiz regarding the chapter 2. No? Now, today, I'll be discussing chapter 3. So, diving into the writer's mind. Medyo mahaba-haba lang konti yung discussion natin, but bear with me with this one, pero I'll try to make it short and concise, no? Okay, so let's start. So first, let's try to look ano ba yung laman ng discussion natin today, no? So first is uh on this in this chapter we will find out from other writers what works and what doesn't work, no? So ano yung mga useful and what are not, no? So, focusing on the blurring genres. So, ano-ano ba yung mga genre, no, na possibility in screenwriting. And then, let's try to think like a writer and how to create an opening image. Okay? So, these are the content of this discussion for today, no? So, yan yung uh, we will try to look on it, no? Okay? So, first is learning from other writers. So, ano ba 'to? Okay. So, let's say for example, the first steps in approaching any artistic medium is to surround yourself with examples of art form. So, if you paint, okay, you go to museum. If you want to compose, you buy score of music or frequent concert halls, no? Uh, if you want to write movies, you do things. You could first study the impact of films firsthand by going to cinema and by supporting your local video store. And then secondly, puwede ring, uh, you may discover much about writing movies by reading screenplays, no? Lots of screenplays. The time you dedicated to reading can reap great rewards. So, in terms of ano talaga, since you are trying to learn from other writers, you need to read and read talaga, no? So, here are just few of many things you'll garner from other writers. So first is yung tinatawag nating multiple point of view. Ano-ano ba 'yon? Okay, so yung multiple point of view kasi, it's the most compelling stories, no? Uh, Told again and again. They continue to write because each writer has a unique approach. Um, it's like ano it's like you are let's say for example, let me give you an example. Spider-Man, no? Spider-Man. As you can see, meron tayong marami tayong version ng Spider-Man, no? Okay, meron tayong Spider-Man yung sinauna, may Spider-Man na ngayon. Actually, tatlo yata yung version ng Spider-Man. So those are multiple point of view. So the writers tend to write and write depending on their view. Parang nare-rewrite siya, eh, no? Marami rin 'yan, eh. We also have Fantastic Four, okey, yung Fantastic Four din gano'n din siya, eh, 'no? Merong Fantastic Four dati, tapos meron ding Fantastic Four yung ngayon. So, they have different point of views, 'no? Next is, clarity of opinions and ethics. Ano naman 'to? So, sometimes yung the best screenplays asks difficult questions. Considering those questions as you read can help clarify your own set of beliefs. So, um, in here kasi ang nangyayari is like, you want to clarify series of ethics and opinion, no? Okay? So, you learn from their ethics and opinion. So, halimbawa, there are writers tend to write how to get rich, no? So, meron silang ethics, meron din silang opinion on how, okay? Let's say another is how to save money, yung mga gano'n. So marami 'yan, no? Okay. Next is a sense of language. So sometimes, no, writers possess a large vocabulary and understanding of grammar. Meron din namang writers use different words in different ways. Okay, so that is a sense of language. Okay, minsan malalalim, minsan mabababaw yung mga ginagamit na words. Okay? The good thing with reading is medyo ang reading kasi talaga would explore and would expand your vocabulary language, no? Okay, next. Understanding of format. Hmm. Many writers know that they want to say, but they are not sure how to lay it on the page. So basically, no, um, with reading of other writers, ang nangyayari is you will know how to plot your story on the page, no. So ganun lang naman 'yon. So by means of reading other writers' work, no, you will learn how to plot your story in a proper format way, no? Okay? And the last one is an enjoyable way to spend few hours. Okay? So if you find screenplays are fun, no? Fast reads, no? Reading one is like traveling without standing on a line or spending more. So pwede kang madala ng reading mo in other places by means of just describing it. Ganun siya kaganda, no? So I mean ganun siya ka mindful, no? You don't need to spend airfare para makapunta lang. So by means of describing, the writer could could enable yung picture, no? Papunta dun sa nagbabasa. So that's a good thing with writer, no? So yun nga, no? So these are the things that you may learn from a series of writer, yung point of view nila, no? Ethics and opinion, their sense of language, no? You could understand the format of them, and okay, of course, you may enjoy, no? Okay. Now, you can find most popular scripts online for free. So I encourage you to examine failures as well as success here. So let's say for example, marami kasing box office disappointments na tinatawag. Ano ba 'yon? Yung let's say it is a good movie pero bakit hindi sila naging box office, or they are box office pero ang daming nadi-disappoint. So in that case, you could scrutinize, you could ano, uh, puwede niyong i-critic yung mga gawa. Why a certain story caused it to fail. So, in the same way, you may be able to avoid the same fate in the future. If, if sakasakali, of course, uh, the writers or your screenplay would be adapted later on. So if it would be your profession later on, so you may take it on mind yung mga ganong bagay. Okay? Okay, next. Reading a dramatic intent. Ano naman 'to? Okay? So let's try here. Okay. So after reading a screenplay once, okay, true for the general story, you may try scanning it again to concentrate on one portion of the development. Okay, so you may um uh focus, no, on the following, no, on a series of portions. So you may track them. So first is yung how the writers develop characters. So paano ba dinedescribe yung character in your story, no? There are lots of ways, no, on how some characters are strong, some characters are weak, some characters are support, no. So how are you going to develop them in your script, no? How the writer structures crucial events. What are the order of events. Paano ba natin i-structure yung pagkakasunod-sunod down to crucial events? So ito 'yon, no? Next is what images the writer repeats and why. Okay? Ano ba yung gusto nating i-reiterate natin dun sa reader natin? Uh, ito ba yung parang kapag ka binasa ko yung parang mapapanaginipan ko pa, something like that, no? Pwedeng gano'n, no? Or it would retain for me, it would retain to me for a week or for a month or even for a year, no? Hindi ko siya makakalimutan, something gano'n, no? What images, tapos we already, what technique the writer employs to move from scene to scene? So, anong klaseng mga does it apply techniques on how writer employs to move from one scene to another scene? Okay. So, dramatic intent, also known as premise, no? Okay. So, yan din yung tinatawag nating premise. Okay. So, it actually refers to screenplay's specific purpose or design. So, it actually alludes to remain, it actually alludes to main questions the screenplay asks or uh, the thought a writer attempts to communicate through story. So ano ba yung gusto nating ipasa? Okay? What's the writer trying to say? Ano ba 'yon, no? What does the writer want to know? Okay? So basically that keeps these two questions in mind as you read for dramatic intent. So the strongest, most complex scripts are written out of the great need. So 'yun, no? So ano ba 'yun? The need to understand life and human interaction or the need to test the page, something the writers has learned. So this needs determines the needs of the screenplay subject. Okay? So yung mga 'yon. So also, let's move on to the second slide. So when you are looking for dramatic intent, you can keep eye of the three things. Ito lang naman yung medyo tatandaan lang natin, no? Okay? If we are looking for a dramatic intent. So first is yung point of view. Ano ba yung point of view? Uh, who does the writer want you to root for, to condemn, no? Uh, it's like sino yung gusto mong focus nung ano natin, nung screenplay natin, no? Okay? Does the writer have an option or an opinion on the events? Okay? Uh, if you can answer these questions, you probably located the writer's point of view, no? Okay? So, that's the point of view. Now, ano naman yung theory? Yung theory is like the script represents or presents a hypothesis that the action then tries to prove. Okay? So, it's like ano yung parang gustong parang maging opinion mo on the screenplay or dun sa script? Parang it's like, um, nakikita ko na kung ano yung parang behind, 'no, kung bakit nangyayari 'tong mga bagay-bagay na 'to. It's like gano'n. Um, it's like each scenes proves that assumptions about, example lang, 'no, races or the good ones versus the bad ones, something gano'n, okay? Then you have, another one is the questions. It's like, what questions keep you reading? Okay, the screenplay. Ano yung parang what drives you to to read and read? It's like parang 'di ba, parang halimbawa ikaw nanonood ka ng episode 1 lang ako, ayoko ng episode 2, 'no? And then suddenly nabitin ka, you go to episode 2 then hindi mo namamalayan nasa episode 10 ka na. It's like what keeps your drive going and going? It's like gano'n din sa reading a dramatic intent. It's like habang hindi nasasagot yung question mo, you keep on reading and reading, no? Okay, so that is a dramatic intent. So, yan, no? Okay, next tayo. Okay. Now, let's move on with genres, no? Okay? Ano-ano ba yung ano-ano ba yung possible na genre ng ano natin, ng screenplay natin or even movie? This could be categorized also as movie. So, a film genre refers to artistic category it belongs to. So, the genre is generally determined by a distinctive style, form, or even content, no? So, malalaman mo na belong siya sa isang genre depending on the content or on the form, no? Okay, so these are the different genres that uh, that are common, no? Ito yung pinaka-basic category of genre. Siyempre ngayon meron ng ano, meron ng combination ng different genres. Meron tayong iba-iba. So, but these are the basis of different genres, no? So, first is comedy. Okay. Some scripts are and even movies are comedy, no? So, comedies approach subjects with humor. Okay. Okay. Dark comedies and romantic comedies are falling under comedies, no? So, kapag ka sinabi nating dark comedies, yan yung mga it's like parang scary movies, mga gano'n, no? So, mga dark comedies yan. Romantic comedies, mga ano yan, love story pero nakakatawa, yung mga gano'n. Okay. We're not just talking about Hollywood, no? You could also think of examples in local, no? In the Philippines. So hindi lang yan applied sa Hollywood. Okay, next is drama. Usually, drama tends to be true to life stories of serious nature. Like these are not movies, but nanggagaling rin naman sa ano, din naman sa mga sinesend ng tao. It's like for example, yung MMK, no? Yung maalaala mo kaya, no? So sometimes kahit bata, kahit matanda, they tend to watch MMK because these are drama. These are tend to be true, no? True to life. Marami ring klase ng drama that is been in the movie and scripts, no? Sometimes they are yung talagang experience nung mga writer, no? Sila talaga. Sometimes, no, these are shared by peoples, no? I mean people na kaibigan ng writer. So those are possible sources of drama, no? Okay. Next, we have sci-fi and fantasy. So these movies take audience to a future time, okay, time frame, or an imaginary world. So the characters may or may not be human beings. Okay, the rules of science may not apply. Okay, and the location may or may not be resembled to ours. Like for example, ng mga yan is Matrix, no, Lord of the Rings, kaya mga yan, no? So, these are sci-fi movies like Chronicles of Narnia. So, syempre, sino ba naman yung halimbawa, yung lagusan mo nasa what do you call this? Cabinet, no? It's like wardrobe, no? Doon. Tapos you will be in Chronicles of Narnia in Narnia world already. No? Those are sci-fi movies. These are tend to be not true, no? It would take you in the future or even pabalik. Okay? Next, how we have action and adventure. So action and adventures, these films portray characters tackling dangerous events in an atmosphere of excitement and suspense. So pagka sinabi nating action and adventure, alam na natin yan. So meron dito yung mga may hilig sa action. So sometimes, no, ito yung mga hard-stopping, ano, no, hard-stopping movies, no? Ayan yung mga mapapatalon ka sa excitement no? Okay, so yung mga yan, action and adventure yan, yung mga tipong hindi ka hihinga kasi akala mo mamamatay yung bida dahil masyadong madami yung kalaban, just like that. Okay? So, example ng mga yan, ano ba? Uh, like for example, kasi ngayon halos yung action and adventure, they are already categorized as action, adventure, and sci-fi. So, kasi nagkakaroon na tayo ng mga, syempre, mga special effects. So, halos nagiging pare-parehas na rin sila yung sci-fi and ano, no, action. Okay? Madami yan, madami example to, no? So, family. So, you could categorize that the genre is a family if you can take your children to see a film. Ibig sabihin, kung lahat kayo pwedeng panoorin yon na hindi mo kailangan bantayan yung anak mo habang nanonood, that is a family. Or yung kapatid mo, that is a family. Family genre, no? Okay, so like for example, mga 3D animation movie, no? Like The Croods, Kung Fu Panda, mga ganun. There's no violence at all, no? It's like joy and happiness, mga ganun lang yung ano nila. So that is family. Okay, let's move on to our next. Next is horror and suspense. So these two different genres attack the same subject. Halos parehas lang sila, no? They're graphic in their violence. So parang violente sila in a way. It's like patayan, no? Horror kasi it's like nag-iiba lang yung model eh. Like for example, instead na tao yung pumapatay, it's like monsters, no? It's like ghosts, no? Yung suspense, these are killing people, no? Yung mga tao rin naman yung pumapatay, no? Yun lang, parehas lang ng attack yung movie nila and yung ano nila, yung script nila, nagkakaiba lang ng let's say yung villain. Okay? Nagkakaiba lang. So kagaya ng sinabi ko, kapagka horror usually mga ghosts, monsters, no? Suspense, let's say for example, serial killer, mga gano'n, chainsaw massacre, mga gano'n, no? Okay, so these movies are not family friendly movies. Okay. So art house and independent. Ito yung mga tinatawag nating low budget films. Ito yung mga tinatawag yung indie film, no? Indie film. Mhm. Okay? So, example of which are Blair Witch Project, Welcome to Dollhouse, yung mga yan, no? Successful examples yan. Alam ko, kasama rin dito yung mga ano, paranormal activity. Yung malalaman mo na low budget sila. Yung halimbawa, they are just in a room, tapos matatapos mo yung isa't kalahating oras, nandun lang sila sa room. Oo, yung mga ganun. Yung mga meron pa I forgot yung mga ganun. Hindi kasi ako masyadong nanonood ng mga ganyan eh. Meron pa yung parang Facebook lang, nag-request lang. Tapos doon na umikot yung story. May namamatay dahil sa Facebook request. Parang ganun. Okay? Anyway, those are examples lang. No? Those are examples. Okay, so moving on. Okay. So art and life. What is the difference? Okay. So when we say art, these are the created and life. Ito yung parang what is current, no? Okay. Yes, art and life are different. Acknowledging the difference is important, no? Uh, it only gives you direction to your work. Much of what you write will stem from personal experience, events related to you, or stories you pull from primary sources like the news. Okay, so sometimes, no, just because it happens doesn't mean that it is not worthy. Okay, so ibig sabihin, when we say noteworthy, ito yung ano, yung hindi ibig sabihin nangyari sa buhay mo na isusulat mo kasi this is already interesting. No, it's not, no? Okay? Uh, hindi lahat, no, ng nangyayari sa buhay can be a good or pwede mong ibenta as a script, no, as a script. Okay? So like for example, may mga vacation like for example, they have a love affair. Okay, meron silang a deep sea creature na nakita, no? Mga gano'n, family crisis. Okay, meron ding halimbawa, a revelation, yung mga gano'n. Halimbawa, nasa birthday kayo, tapos biglang sinabi, yung isang family nyo is buntis pala, okay? Tapos yung nakabuntis is may asawa, something like that. Those are life, no? But doesn't really mean na, okay, like for example, ano sinabi dito, news, no? That doesn't really mean na they are sellable, no? In 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 a way na pwede mo siyang isulat, no? So art serves a purpose. So depending on your affiliation, you may believe life does as well, but art is generally striving to do at least one of the following things. So ano-ano ba yung mga yon? Meron tayong tatlo, no? So first is yung clarify an experience. So sabi nga nila, no, life moves so quickly, it's often difficult to know the significance of a moment while it's in a progress. So you may be distracted by a family, a friend, or even a career and miss a potentially important events as they occur. So you kagaya nga ng example ko, no? You may see and clarify different experiences. So you may pick those experiences. Okay? And just pick those who think or which you think is needed in a particular manner or in a particular way. Okay? Next is interpret an experience. Okay, so it's not enough to live through a moment. So human beings usually want to know why the moment occurred. So minsan, 'di ba? Tinatanong talaga natin, bakit nangyayari 'to? Okay? Bakit nangyayari 'to sa akin? Okay? You may interpret an experience. So you may ano ba kasing term doon? You may reflect, no? On a particular experience. Okay? So, you may understand the reason why it is happening to you. Okay? Then, intensify sensation. Um, you don't usually go to movies just to simply watch a movie, no? Minsan, you want to feel something. That's why gusto mong manood ng mga series of movie. And that particular scene or example is intensifying a sensation. It's like let's say for example, gusto natin maging in love, you try to watch love stories, no? Heartbroken ka, no? Heartbroken ka, so kabi-break niyo lang ng jowa mo. So maybe you are to intensify your sensation, you are trying to listen to sad music o kaya nanonood ka ng mga break-up and move on movies, no? Yung mga gano'n. So those are intensifying sensation. Okay? So moving on. So what is developing artistic sensibility? Ano naman 'tong artistic sensibility na tinatawag natin? So maybe you probably heard the saying imitation is the oldest form of flattery. So I'm not suggesting that you copy the stories or even the style ng mga writers, but you may want to try moving through the world as they do. So it's like um i-try mo, parang ita-try mo na parang what if kaya ako yung writer neto? What would be the ano the possible flow of the story? It's like that, no? Parang gano'n. Ano kaya yung magiging posibleng flow ng story ko, no? So to develop the sensibility in yourself, you need to take closer look of the details writers collects and how they select among them. It's like, ano ba yung parang nag-drive dito sa writer na to? Bakit ito yung pinik niya? Ano ba siya? Lagi ba siyang nagkakape? Lagi ba siyang nasa park tas nakikita niya yung mga tao? Is it learned through experience? Something ganun, no? Uh, it's like, kapag sinabi kasi nating sensibility, it's like the senses, no? How are you going to attract yung developing art or art of developing, no? It's like you sense something and you will be developing it, no? Okay? So, let's move on with ano yung nakikita naman ng mga writer. Let's try to see what writer sees, no? Okay, so example na lang natin, maybe you haven't experienced yet. Siyempre, mga reunion, no? So, doon tayo mag-focus. Let's say, high school reunion or college reunion or elementary reunion, no? Yung mga ganon. If hindi nyo pa naranasan yon, maybe soon you will recall this discussion kasi uh, our example is reunion, no? So imagine na lang natin na you attended a school reunion and you see all the usual trappings. So a welcoming committee, equipped with name tags, sinasabit, no? Tapos tables, no? Madaming food, no? Meron kang beverage bar, may party decorations, and band, no? Okay? Okay, most people, no, find old friends, socialize a bit, and then call it a night. Okay? Mga ganong tipong ano, normal, no? Most people do, but most writers don't, no? So, kung ikaw pupunta ka sa isang reunion, kung writer ka, no, kung writer ka, uh, it's like lahat ng kinikilos nila ma-observe mo, masi-sense mo, no? Mamaya i-discuss ko ano yung mga 'yan, no. So, uh, lahat, no, even the environment medyo mase-sense mo, ano ba nangyayari dito, ano bang meron dito, no? It's like that, no? Okay? So, some of example are this, no? So, the scene overall layout, ano ba yung nakikita? Okay? Usually, no, um, yung screenwriting kasi consists of visual images constructed in telling a way. So, by which I mean, with the choice details in mind, no? When you enter a space, okay, so try to assess it, yung mga ganun. It's like, ano ba yung itsura ng buong ano? It's like you are imagining the overall layout. Okay? So, exactly, may mga colors, may mga ganon. So, ano-ano. Okay? So, anything out of the ordinary, ano naman to? So, sometimes, no, writers scan the scene for unusual details, no? So, what seems out of place, who seems ill, at ease, no? Yung mga ganon. When we say ganon, yung mga, we are still on the, we are still on the example of the college reunion, no? So, yung mga kapag sinabi nating out of ordinary, yung mga hindi pangkaraniwan 'yan, yung mga let's say for example do sa college reunion, no, umikot yung mata ng writer, may nakikita siya, yung unease, no, yung mga hindi hindi mapakali, no, yung mga parang meron din mga taong parang out of place, no, okay. Okay, so yung mga wristwatch, mga nakikita nila, no, ah, yung mga umiinom ng kape, hot cocoa, yung mga beer, no. Okay, so from that, many stories rise out of something curious, out from curiosity. So parang, ba, dati, ah, malakas 'to uminom, bakit kaya ngayon parang kape na lang siya? What's the story behind? Something gano'n, So something gano'n. So, next is telling looks or exchange glances. So ito medyo siguro nabi-visualize niyo 'to, no? Ah So siyempre ikaw writer, nakaupo ka lang diyan, no? So it's like nasa reunion ka pa rin, okay? Tapos makikita mo sino yung mga nag-e-exchange ng looks, okay? When we say exchanging of looks, yung mga nagkakatitigan, glances, no? Okay? Gaano sila katagal nagkakatitigan, no? Yung mga gano'n. Usually something's going on. So he may be recalling the pasts, uh or checking up on someone, no? Parang gano'n, no? So, maybe halimbawa lang, no, example lang naman 'to, maybe yung dalawang mag-ex dati nung high school sila ta's biglang nagkita sa reunion, they exchange yung parang tinginan and then for 3 seconds they recall lahat, nag-flashback lahat nung bata sila. Okey, mga gano'n, no? So, you could write something out from them, no? Yung mga gano'n. So, yan. So, next is loaded gestures. Ito naman, kung kanina, glances. Ito naman, gesture naman to. Ito yung mga pagtapik-tapik sa balikat, mga ganon, appear, mga fist bump, mga ganon. So, basic loaded gesture. So, parang, halimbawa, yung dalawang magkaaway dati, nagkumustahan, oy, pare, ano ka na, asensado ka na. Oo, medyo, mga ganon. You may look it as probably insult, probably compliment, no? Pero it's up to the writer how they sees it, no? Parang ganon. Pwedeng it's a menacing condition or a menacing type, no? Pwede ring commanding, pwede ring supportive, no? Okay, nasa ano 'yan, nasa parang how are you going to interpret yung loaded gesture no ano. Okay. Personality quirks, eto naman, ano naman 'to, they are parang ano, example yung mga dating ano, still on the ano pa rin tayo, reunion na still, parang ganito, halimbawa, personality quirks works with, um, let's say parehas sila dati, 'no? Okey, parehas na nagtu-twinning halimbawa mga gano'n, tapos in a way nag-iba sila ng ng, ugali na, okey? So, there might be probably story about that, behind that. O kaya parang sobrang mag-close, best friend sila dati, then suddenly, uh, what enhances their characters and personality traits. So, mga gano'n, 'no? Okay, so in those examples, so looking at the world eventually becomes a habit. So every now and then, not just in reunion, maybe you could automatically adjust to the process, no? Uh, Maybe if that occurs, no? Pwede mo nang i-take to another level yung sensibility mo, no? Ano naman yung other level na sinasabi? Ito naman ito yung matindi, 'no? It's what a writer hears, 'no? Ito yung parang lahat naman ngayon ay naririnig niya, 'no? Naririnig niya. So, paano naman 'to? Okay. Let me click that. Okay. So, again, hindi na tayo lalayo, do'n pa rin tayo sa example natin ng school reunion, 'no? So, nakakita tayo ng mga interesting visual image crop all over the place. So, ano naman yung mga naririnig natin, 'no? So, may mga interpretation din ba, yung mga noises, yung mga gano'n, musics, and so on. So, let's try to pick out the surroundings naman, okay? Try to pick out the surroundings, okay? So, let's start with, noises that suggest the event. So many scenarios come equipped with their own soundscape. So you'd be quick to distinguish, let's say, for example, a christening from an accident site, even nakapikit yung mata mo, no? So noises that suggest the event is like, mm, ito yung mga distinct na maririnig mo on a particular event. Like for example, if it is a reunion, ano ba yung distinct noise na maririnig mo? It's like, if yung kanina, kung meron tayong banda, malamang may mga musical instrument na tumutugtog diyan, piano, guitar, and so on. No, those are noises, no? Those are noises. Okay? If it is an accident area, no, parang gano'n, kung accident area 'yan, mga maririnig mong noises just yung noise ng ambulance, ng kotse ng pulis, mga gano'n. So, those are surrounding noises, no? Okay. Now, noises that punctuate the scene. Ano naman 'to? Occasionally, no, you may notice a sound that enhances the moment. So, if you're watching a man, let's say, cry softly to himself, merong drama sounds na mape-play. So, it's like parang ano, enhances yung scene, parang gano'n. Halimbawa, yung may biglang nawawala sa park na bata, 'no? Okay. May scene din, alam mo parang umiikot bigla dun sa park yung view tapos may scene, something gano'n. So it punctuate, no? Pag sinabi natin punctuate, parang pag, no? Parang it's like parang pinapalakas mo yung scene, no? Next is the rhythm of conversation. So meron ding own unique tempo yung mga yan. Like for example, the pace of the voice, no? The repetition of phrases, okay? Kailan yung moment of silence, yung mga ganon. Okay? So, those are rhythm of conversation. Mabagal ba, mabilis, yung mga ganon. Is it a whisper, yung mga ganon. So, those are part of uh, what writer hears, no? And then the slang and jargon. So, ito naman yung mga slang and jargon means it's like um every conversation has its unique tempo, no? So the pace of the voice, the repetition, and no. I already discussed that, no? So slang and jargon, these are the terms, no? Refer to the words and phrases that suggest actually the culture or a socio-economic background or a profession. Like for example, dito is a Grey's Anatomy. So this particular movie or genre or even script, most of their jargons are for doctor kasi ano yan, it's like parang doctor series yan, no? Yung mga gano'n. So, maybe you've watched a series of um, different movies and series, no? That is professional, when we say parang professional-oriented movies, like doktor yung bida, mga gano'n. Okay, maririnig mo diyan yung mga ano nila, mga terminology nila, scalpel, yung mga gano'n, 'no. So, if it is if it is, a professional basketball movie naman, you'll see you'll heard defenses like triangle, yung mga gano'n. Jargons are not meant to be common, 'no. Jargons and slang words or yung maririnig nating jargons diyan, they are just used on their profession, something like that, 'no. Okay. So, that is what writer hears, no? Yan yung mga naririnig actually ng mga writers. And you could see, no? And hear, okay, based dun sa example din natin kanina. So, ano yan, parang nasa reunion pa rin tayo, no? So, example pa rin natin is yung reunion. Next is, ano naman yung dapat na, di ba may nakita na tayo? May narinig din tayo. Ano naman yung kailangan nating kunin lang dun, i-pick up, ano rin naman yung kailangan nating, ah, bitiwan or kalimutan, like what writer remembers and what writer should forget, okay? So, let's see. Okay, so of course, no, exact details of writer cherishes and which he or she forgets will be vary according to personality. However, if you're stumped as to what you hold on to, consider the following information since overall layout. So maybe halimbawa kapagka medyo nalilito ka, ano ba yung mga dapat mong i-remember, ano ba yung mga dapat mong itapon. Ito yung mga dapat, no? These are things to consider. Okay? The first one is the details that create a compelling image. So kapagka sinabing by a compelling image, it means one that is full or full of tension, full of emotion, full of movement, full of life, yung mga yan, no? So, pwede mong i-grab yun. Okay? Okay? Kasi it would grab an audience attention. Okay? Okay? So, you could see also yung mga character emotional state on screen. So, remember that it catches an eye dun sa ano natin, sa mga reader natin and even sa mga viewers natin if it would be converted into movies. Okay? Another is details that raise questions. So what are the details that leaves you hanging? So questions is the key to strong writing actually, no? So personal questions fuels the desire to write and find answers, no? The characters questions determines the choice they make throughout your story. So So any details that forces a question is worth remembering. Always take note on that. Okay. Next is details that tug at your moral or ethical code. Ito naman yung mga ano, uh, what are the moral story? No? So this is the purpose, no? Will serve purpose dun sa script natin. This is either to inspire, okay, to spark a debate, okay, to inquire, to entertain, okay, and so on, no? Madami pa yan. So, depending, no? Depending. So, depending on ano. Okay. Oops. Okay. Details that establish a debate. So, um, many films actually rely on ongoing arguments to bolster the momentum, no? Whenever the argument exists between characters or audience members, uh, your script may spark a debate. Something ganun, no? If it is successfully to engage someone, okay, kung medyo successful ka na parang ma-in character mo yung mga nanonood or even yung bumabasa sa'yo, that's the moment in real life that the illicit arguments of various kinds shall occur, no? Parang it would spark parang dapat ito yung nangyari eh. Parang ganon. This should happen rather than this, no? Parang ganon. So, yan, no? Details that help understand human condition. So, eto naman, most arts kasi strives to understand life and in injustice. So, like for example, irony, savage nature, glory, no? So, yan, no? Kasi human is a piece of puzzle, no? Maraming possibilities that might develop, no? Okay? So, those are the examples lang naman, no? Uh, what try to get and what try to forget, no? Okay. So, next tayo. Let's move on with our next. Okay. When to recognize a story when you see it, no? Okay. So, syempre, hindi naman lahat ng nangyari daily, no? Pwede nating kunin and recognize it as our what do you call this? A story, no? So, why is this the case, no? So often, just because a story interests you doesn't mean that it's a film worthy. Okay, let me just summarize this, no? Okay. Hindi lahat ng nangyayari, kagaya nga ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi lahat ng nangyayari is uh, film worthy or story worthy, no? Um, minsan, no, it may interest you, pero hindi out of interest siya ng mga possible na viewers mo. So, you try to meet halfway. Okay? Okay, kagaya nga ng sinabi niyo, chasing every idea that comes your way is exhausting and often futile, no? So, sometimes, story, you have to chase them. Sometimes, kusa siyang darating sa'yo. But not all is worthy. Okay? So, kagaya nga na sinabi ko is sometimes, no, some stories are good to you, pero boring sa iba. Okay? Next. Now, what will drive you to write, no? Identifying the call to write. Kumbaga, these are the time na kailan ba ako susulat, kailan ba ako mag-i-start, no? It's like ganun, no? Uh, like for example, no, take a second and think about the stories you remember from your childhood. Okay? Now, recall the events that happened to you as well as those moments. Okay? Bakit kaya hanggang ngayon, no? Uh, nagla-last pa rin siya sa mind mo. You could still remember everything. Okay? Okay? Bakit kaya? No? Like, for example, what is your favorite movie when you were a toddler? No? Bakit kaya ganun katagal still alam mo pa? Or sometimes, yung mga favorite mong movie, 10 years ago na, still natatandaan mo pa rin yung mga binabatong linya. Bakit kaya? No? So, take a look reasons why. Okay? Ito yung mga possible reasons. No? Okay? It's like, what drives them to write those stories that will last forever, no? Mga gano'n, no? So, this could be, identifying grounds para sumulat ka, okey? You write because you have something to say and only you can say it. Okay, it makes sense, no? Kumbaga, sumusulat ka kasi meron kang gustong sabihin at ikaw lang yung kayang magsabi nun, okey? You write to immortalize an event you've discovered or lived through. When we say immortalize, gusto mo mag-live through siya, kagaya ng mga nangyari sa'yo. Like for example, gusto mo mag-last 'tong moment na 'to even if wala ka na sa mundo, you write it. Now, as long as the writing is there, kahit wala ka na, it will be immortalized, no? Okay. You write to immortalize an important human being. Okay, so let's say na-in-love ka, 'no? Nauna sa'yo halimbawa yung mahal mo, okey, yung minahal mo, eh, gusto mo mag-live through siya sa'yo, okey? It's like gusto mo hindi siya mamatay in your memories, you write them. Tapos people will inspire and inspire and inspire. Like for example, Romeo and Juliet, 'no? Hindi mo alam kung nangyari talaga yon kasi yung writer buhay, eh. Pero 'no, they want to immortalize a certain human being, kaya hanggang ngayon kilala natin si Romeo and Juliet, 'no? You write to better understand life or the human spirit. Ito yung mga what drives human spirit, yung mga gano'n, 'no? It's like hindi 'to mga espiritu talaga, 'no? Yung mga ano, burning passion, 'no? Yung mga gano'n, life success, yung mga gano'n. Okay. So, you write also because an idea thrills you and you want to share the thrill with others. Okay? Yung parang it's like there's a steam coming from my body and I want also to share them with people, mga gano'n, no? Okay. So, you called to write also as an outlet, okay, because it's a fun way to let off those steam. So to speak, no? Mga gano'n. Okay. So, next tayo. Now, the 4 Ps, important 4 Ps of the story. Ito naman kapagka medyo okay na tayo, we are already ready, identify na natin yung 4 Ps ng story natin, 'no? Okay. What are the 4 Ps of the story? Okay. First 4 Ps is people. Okay. Okay. So, who's in your story? Sino-sino ba yung mga kasama dun sa story natin? So, kasama ba yung mga waiter, diners, 'no, yung mga gano'n kasama ta's iti-trim down mo later yung cast. So, titignan mo kung sino-sino yung mga 'yon, 'no? Next is place. Saan-saan nangyayari yung script mo? Is it on the resto, biglang mapupunta sa Palawan, biglang mapupunta sa New Jersey, okay, so on, 'no? Okay. Next is picture. Okay, what do you see when you think about the story? So, what image, colors, textures, and movements, and so on yung kailangan? Parang gusto mong ipa-picture out dun sa nagbabasa or even dun sa ano, sa nanonood. no, what particular picture you want to remain, no, after the movie, or even watching the movie, or even the script, no. Next is plot. When we say plot, these are your pivotal events, yung pagkakasunod-sunod, to. So, what comes next? Ganun lang naman yan, no? So, those are plots. Okay? So, the last one to consider is finding an opening image. Okay? Ito yung medyo familiar tayo, panigurado, no? Finding an opening image. Um, in finding an opening image, usually kasi yung beginning of any story is magical, eh, no? So, you may feel as if after stumbling around in the dark, you come across one image from which anything is possible, no? Okay, so if you already identify yung purpose ng story natin, you'll have several sets of image to choose from. Okay, so halos parehas lang din sila, pero pagka sinabi kasi nating opening of image, ito yung let's say yung unang description. In a movie kasi, ito yung parang intro, eh, 'no? Okay, puwedeng person, halimbawa yung habang pinapakita mo yung opening ng okay, yung person, nagda-drive siya o kaya nagkakape siya, okay, pero yung focus nung ano, sa kanya, okay, yung camera sa kanya, 'no? You may also ano yung place, no? Let's say for example, yung opening ng image like, um, Lion King, no? Forest yung opening ng image niya, gano'n, 'no? So, landscape, okey. Puwede ring let's say dagat, gano'n. So, it's up to you, 'no, kung paano. Puwede ring picture, when we say picture, are we talking about picture frames? No, 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 it's not, 'no? So, pagka sinabi nating picture, let's say for example, yung umuusok na sigarilyo, those are part of picture. May, ah, may gun, 'no, may baril tapos may mga bala nagkalat, so those are part of the picture. O kaya puwede ring halimbawa, crime scene, gano'n, those are part of picture, okey? Next is plot. Yung plot naman, okey, you may focus on parang pinagsama-sama na 'to, eh. Pero when we say plot kasi, ang focus niya dito is, puwede kang mag-start at the middle, okey? Ah, at the middle of the story ta's pabalik, yung mga gano'n. It's like parang Deadpool yung datingan, eh, okey? Sa Deadpool 'di ba parang, ah, nag-start siya sa gitna, eh, alam ko nag-start siya sa gitna nung pinapatay niya na yung sarili niya, pero may backstory pala, yung gano'n. So those are plot, 'no? So yun, 'no? So those are finding image, 'no? Finding an opening image. So when you are ready for that, 'no, medyo yun, we are already equipped with how are we going to do a particular writing, okay? Pero as of now, hindi pa rin naman tayo nag-aano kasi it's still in the basic of screenwriting and storyboard, 'no? So hindi pa rin naman tayo gumagawa ng script. Pero soon, we will be trying, no, at least the aspect, okay, series of aspect nung script writing natin is dine-discuss natin para at least kapagka nandiyan na tayo, we are already given the ideas on how are we going to start and how are we going to end series of things dun sa script writing natin. Okay? So that ends our chapter 3. Okay? If you have questions, just drop it on our group, no? And then you may also message me dun sa canvas natin. Okay? I'll be providing you a short quiz regarding this and a short laboratory activity. All you have to do is always check your canvas, and this is due for this week. Okay? So that's it for now. I'll be leaving you with uh, chapter 3, and I'll discuss chapter